Welcome back to Saga of Three Kings, Session 18, entitled It's All Downhill. Last session, the group made their way via teleportation circle scroll to the Ice Fang Hold in an attempt to deal with the cultists or possibly conglomerate retainers and clear out their base of operations. Unfortunately, what they found is that it wasn't what Ice Fang Hold was, and the dragon had already escaped and apparently had also instructed those who were at the location to leave as well. So they marched around the place for a long time and found next to nothing. In the meantime, Leon had rode to try and intercept Shambles, and having rode past a number of individuals and missing people, he realized what he had done and rode to Bulwark to try and get some assistance after having seen that the individuals weren't back at the tower. So they rode with him to the Shrine of Atavius, were able to utilize some spell effects from Red Ball to melt the ice, and once they got in, they were able to then send Leon and the elk forward, but in doing so broke the magic of the teleportation circle permanently from the Shrine of Atavius to Icefang Hold. Leon and the elk appear on the top of the cold, blizzardy tower, and you can hear a bit of clanging coming from beneath you. If you inspect and do the whole very cautious advance, you learn that your friends are basically fashioning what appear to be toboggans out of coffin lids. And then, that said, group, elk, and woodsman come downstairs from the tower top as you're getting ready to set off into the wilderness.
Be face palming. You guys are about to slide down this mountain in your own coffins, literally.
Not our own. We took them from somebody else.
We found these. This is recycling.
I should have stayed back where I was.
Is this technically a land vehicle now?
Yes, it is technically a land vehicle. Vehicles land will be the operation method. That's correct. Amongst yourselves, you should check how much rations you have in supply. Understand that a toboggan being a fast thing doesn't change the fact that you're going to be moving at a pretty slow pace, as you're not going to just... There's not like a power slide that just allows you to just hop into it and bobsled down the mountain, although that would be dope. But it's not the case. So, that said, I would like for you as a group to kind of talk about resources that you have before you start preparing to leave.
Well, we have lots of rope, and we have this elk now that can probably help pull. And
It's cheap.
Yeah.
For those of you that need them, I have 5 rations, and I don't eat anymore, so...
I have a lot of tea.
I hand 5 rations to Jody after hearing that.
Yay!
I could forage food.
It'll be harder.
Maybe not in the frozen tundra.
It'll be harder on the mountains, but yeah.
Got this cheese that I found.
He did find
Still
a
pretty
wheel.
good.
Smart.
And Shambles doesn't eat either. In
Sorry
fact,
about the porridge. I didn't foresee us being out in the middle of nowhere
it's actually-
within a day.
it
Well,
was
it's a little bit of a dick move on your part.
it was actually the funniest.
They were hungry. They looked like they were disheveled and in a bad way. So free porridge.
It was actually the funniest thing ever when I was planning this, and I was like, "Oh, they don't need to worry about food or anything because," and I'm like, "Oh shit, they do have to worry about food. Shambles is too nice."
Is there only
Yeah, I
one of
got-
those bowls down there?
There were a few, and he handed them each out to the champion.
Yeah, there were like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was more like 3 or 4, I think. A handful, and they were handed out. That said, 5 rations on Benson. What about Leon and Gondar?
I don't know. I haven't been tracking food.
6. Because I had 5, and then I found a piece of cheese. You said that was a ration, so I have 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna get hungry too.
Yeah, and basically because the mountain is kind of not habited by many creatures that will be forageable or vegetation that will be forageable, Andy, for the purposes of your background feature in this kind of desolate wasteland, you'll make a survival check, and based on the DC, if you make it well enough, you'll perform your background feature as normal. If you make it slightly good, but not as good as you could, you'll roll a d6, and that'll be how many people you'll feed for that day. And if you just completely botch it, you'll only be able to feed yourself.
Okay.
So at minimum, you'll be able to feed yourself.
Okay. Fair.
All right.
And then I think Namlock has 5 rations because I gave him 5 to carry
Okay.
because they were cumbersome to me. So I think we have.
I think Kane will be able to aid Grok on his survival checks. Kane is kind of a mountain type person. He's a Goliath, so that makes sense to me. So you'll have advantage on those checks that you make, Grok.
All right.
All right. Anything else before we get to the pressing matter of how I tell you how this is going to work?
Does anybody here know how to drive?
I do.
I'm not sure if I believe you or not.
I have land vehicles.
Oh, I do too.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yep, and because you'll be using your
2
elk
toboggans.
for your toboggan, you'll probably have advantage on your checks with that if you use him as a
Co-pilot.
beast of
I'm going
burden.
with Leon.
Co-pilot? What is
Called
it?
it.
Chewbacca?
So real quick note, there were like
We're
6 or
gonna be best friends.
there were like 6 or 7 coffin lids down in the basement, made of sturdy steel, and they should suffice. And might need some banging out for repairs depending on how badly you drive them. But each to coffin or coffin boggin, I don't know. To coffin. Anyways, the point is each sled would be able to carry at most 3 people. And the halfling can be added onto any of those with no additional cost.
That's right, I can.
Yeah, because he can fit in with anybody and kind of sit to the side, front, whatever. But that said, that's you and your gear. If you
Question.
Go ahead.
Will Leon drive from the elk or from the toboggan steering the elk?
I presume that he would be.
Riding it?
I would say the opposite, actually. And the reason why I say that is because it's treacherous terrain. You don't want the added weight of you on top of the elk if it does happen to put its foot into a precarious spot.
I'm going with Leon.
Okay. So
Sandwich Campbell's.
now keep in mind you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 individuals that you need to be moving. Technically 7.5 if you do the math accurately. So it seems like you'll have 3 toboggans because of the sidekicks or the cohorts. So figure out who's going where.
Team Phalanx
Anyone
on
else?
1.
Anyone else know how to drive? Or
Brock, Leon, and myself can take 1, and then everybody else on
Brock
shambles.
is one. Come on.
I personally don't know how to drive, but I feel like I've studied it enough that I could help you out.
If you don't have it trained, you can't help it. So
He
I
can
can
guide.
too because I'm gonna ask guidance, bro.
oh, well then yeah, that's fine.
See how I roleplayed that there, man? Yeah, it was neat.
You
I'm sitting
you did
between
good.
Grok and Leon on a sled.
Let's see. Another thing you can do, just a quick note, if you want to go just 2 toboggans, Leon can, instead of riding a toboggan or piloting one, just ride his elk. It will not be able to help a toboggan because it won't be able to deal with the added weight and pull. Does that make sense?
Nah, Leon's a strong driver. He should drive.
I mean, I have land vehicles.
Does Does Shambles count as like a person the way a normal person does, or is he like?
He still makes up the size of a person. Yes, he's medium sized.
And he's driving, so we can't just roll him up.
Yeah.
No, let's fold his legs into himself, and then just so he's a torso.
No,
and
I'm
then he
the
can drive.
back. I'm like a
Just
I'm
fold
like a
him,
motor.
fold his legs into his chest, and then set him on someone's lap.
Yeah,
Turn him inside
exactly.
out, wear him like a seatbelt.
Uh,
Yeah, see, problem solved.
if he has
Or a safety bag.
and he has airbags, or is one? No, that again, you can't do that.
Just how long would it take to hike? Let's just wild guessing from what we know. How long would it take to hike down the mountain? Like if you had to do it on foot, on a toboggan.
So the group is if Leon's kind of looking at it and thinking about it, he doesn't know anybody who's ever done it. But if he had to venture a guess, he's going to say it's going to be at least a 6-day, or the better part of 10 days.
I was gonna say, if we really want to only do 2 vehicles, like I said, Kane has like cold climate resistance. Like he could live in the mountain if he wanted to. We could give him enough rations, and he could just hike down the mountain.
Okay.
If we gave him enough rations to survive,
You're
essentially.
wanting to relinquish Kane to his own devices, and then exclude him from the toboggan adventure, and then we'll determine his fate later.
Oh, but I'm not saying it's just a suggestion if we get like stuck. I'm not saying it's what we 100% need to do. It's just throwing ideas out.
Fair enough. I'm just making sure I understand what the idea is. That's all.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, he would essentially we would create a trail behind us by tobogganing, breaking the snow, and then he would essentially follow best he could.
Okay.
Because it sounds like we have 2 pretty good drivers, and then that third cart will essentially be just trying its best.
Okay, and you're saying Kane can be the third, effectively.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if we wanted to not do 3 carts.
I didn't see that until just now. Tobophagus. Go ahead and get inspiration for that.
Sick.
That's dope.
Yeah, you go. You go, Zach.
All right. Okay, so then we're really just looking at 2 carts then. Leon driving one, and who's driving the second one?
I think it's me.
Shambles. Okay. Who's on team Leon, or rather team Elk, to be more precise?
Yo.
Right.
Rock.
A lot of face.
All right.
Team Elk, best team.
All right. So for the Boggin, their side, it's going to be Leon in the front, and then Rye in the middle, Croc on the back.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I mean, he weighs the most. He might be best in the middle.
Oh, Croc.
Yeah.
If that's what you think. Do you agree?
Should be in the back.
Do you agree, Leon?
What?
Out of,
Am I wrong?
out of character note, with vehicles land, you would know that Grok is 100% correct. Having more weight in the center and not having it distributed on one side would make for a better trip.
Yes. Agreed.
And Andy gained inspiration for that.
Wee.
Smart.
I already
thinking.
have it, so I'm gonna
Give it to whoever you want.
I'm gonna give it to Chris.
All right. Chody, you get inspiration.
I already got it.
Oh, well then he can't get it.
Who doesn't have it?
Thanks, though.
Jeremy.
All right, if you don't have it, you got it.
Yeah.
It's the only way he's ever gonna get it.
Well, shit, I have it permanently in every game.
No,
I already used
it's
it,
not.
But still.
Just-
It is. You already said it.
It's just
I have
the
witnessed-
it's just the one free one. It's not every
Oh,
game.
I know. One
He
for
knows
every
a guy.
game, though.
Right. Right. Let's see. So, okay, cool. Chris, I just saw your note on the spells. That is correct.
Oh, dude, no, that was just a reminder for me when I
Oh, okay.
do transfer it. That's what that was for. Sorry.
Okay. Got it. I'm just making sure. It sounded like you were trying to confirm something. Anyways, point. The second toboggan will be Benson, and then Shambles, Namwonk, and Gondar. Where's who's sitting where? And again, Benson basically will add to the weight of one of the three. So just determine where you're wanting to put who where.
Might as well have Namwalks in the middle because he's a Minotaur. He'll be the heaviest. He can, and whatchamacallit.
I could just sit on his back like I'm riding him. That way it'll
Well-
all the more weight to be in the middle.
Since you're wanting
In his
to,
lap.
since you're wanting to be casting guidance on someone, I think you and Shambles should share a space.
I'm gonna be like the little co-pilot in the rally drivers.
Yep.
Where I tell him turns. That's what.
Perfect.
So just sit on Namwalk's lap where you can touch Shambles.
And Gondar, you're in the back.
They all hold hands.
yeah.
That's the rule of this
Wait,
sled.
I thought Shambles was steering from the back. Isn't this a sled?
Yeah, but it's a
I
toboggan.
have no idea what the orientation. is
Listen,
supposed to be.
Canada.
It's a toboggan, not a like. It's more like a bobsled that you've created, not a. And bobsleds are steered from the front.
Yeah, but bobsleds also have like pulleys and stuff to adjust the skis.
That's what you-
I don't think
that's
these
what
have
you-
skis.
No, that's what you spent the time creating. Is taking like the iron sides and kind of like making it so it's.
Oh wow, these are a lot more elaborate than I.
It's not,
Yeah, no-
let's
Yeah,
not
hell yeah.
overcomplicate sliding down a mountain.
Yeah, it's not just
We're-
a coffin lid like, and you're on it.
We're dealing with Canadians here, all right? This is serious business
This
for
is-
them.
This is real
I
time.
respect that.
After
Yeah,
we
you-
after we go tobogganing, we're gonna go
Semantics.
play some ice hockey.
Yeah, tell me exactly how detailed this toboggan is.
I'm gonna need to know.
We gotta be careful we don't get pulled over by the Mounties though, because that
Straight-
could get us in trouble.
Strangely enough,
I'm naming ours Kalula.
the lids, the coffin lids on the exterior have maple leaves on them for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, they're gonna go faster.
Yeah, if you
We
paint them red.
desecrated the burial of the Maple Knights.
Anywho, the maple lights. That said, there are a total of 14 spaces between you and your trajectory end. Jeremy drew a pattern, and this one is pretty close to it with some exceptions. He was trying to kind of draw over like hard land points, so at those points I just redirected so that it's where it would go, and not run up a mountain. That said, there are a total of 14 spaces, as I mentioned. I would like for there are a total of 6 of you, so everybody roll 2 dice, and I will roll 2 dice.
D20s?
What?
2 20s.
15-2.
17.
9/18.
29. And remember, I am casting guidance if that happens here or not.
Okay.
I
no,
rolled a
no.
1 and a 7.
This it wouldn't happen for here. 1,
Okay, just
2,
checking.
3, 4, 5, 6. Missing. Looks like. There we go. Okay. Now I'd like you to pick a representative. I don't care who it is.
Beds.
The elk.
Benson.
Yeah. Stampy.
So are we going with Chris or Kevin?
Jody was outvoted just then. So
All right. So Kevin, I would like you to take all the numbers that are there, and with no interaction from anyone else and not understanding what those numbers genuinely mean, I would like for you to type them all out in an order of your choosing, however you would like them to go.
Oh god, it's like some choose
pressure.
your own adventure shit.
It is some choose your own adventure shit. That is correct.
So
It's
all
goosebumps.
the numbers on the screen, or just the
All
ones in my?
14 numbers that are currently typed out. So that would be the D20 results, not the what they added
The
to.
totals.
Not the totals.
Oh, each individual
Oh,
die.
Each individual dice. It should be a total of 14 rolls.
Okay.
Now, in the meantime, while he's working on that, we're going to discuss how this is going to work. Operationally, he is creating the random encounter chain that is going to be dissected through the pathway that you're moving. Random encounters happen a bit more often out here, but random encounters don't always mean fight. They can be hazardous terrain, crevasses, avalanche, crazy shit like that. So, that said, while the encounters are happening, while things are happening to you as you make your way down, you will also be performing a skill challenge. During that skill challenge, each one of you is going to be making 2 rolls, and only 2 rolls. And what you need to do as a group is decide which 2 skills do I have, or tool uses do I have, that I feel will help best towards a tobogganing expedition. If someone else says, I'm going to go survival, then that's off the list for you. if that's the election that you do. So you're going to pick your best representatives for a series of 12 skills, and that is going to be what you're going to roll, the 2 apiece per person there. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Kind of.
Okay.
You want us to type them or just scream all over each other?
Well, you're going to want to talk over each other, and the reason why I say that is because some of you might be vying for the same skills.
How do you want this list in Discord?
Just talk in person. It's fine. So,
Acrobatics and stealth.
acrobatics and stealth are what Raya would like to specialize. Is anybody going to? Because acrobatics will help with balance, especially if you're on like high ridges and stuff, and he's able to kind of, from his position on the toboggan, kind of keep it balanced. You're in the back, right?
Animal
I'm the brake
handling?
man.
Is that a thing I should be throwing out?
Yeah.
Vehicles land is obviously one, and if you are one of the pilots, one of your 2 has to be that, and that's the only skill or tool use that can be doubled up on. So Shambles and Leon, you already have vehicles land chosen for you. So besides that, what would be a good skill for you to use to help with the group in this toboggan adventure?
Perception.
Performance.
Perception is a good one.
Performance.
That's the only other one that makes insight. Am I gonna?
Some
Dexterity.
crazy shit.
No, insight
I'll
might be
use
good, actually.
my thieves' tools to do maintenance.
Now there are going to
Should I
be.
do athletics?
That's not a bad idea.
Hold on a second. There are some skills that will not be useful in this circumstance. Obviously, persuasion will not be one that's beneficial.
Well, what if we run to a Yeti?
You're not going to talk to him. You're going to animal handle. So that's different. But performance is also one of the ones that's out. So, Grok, you said athletics?
Athletics, yeah. Survival.
Survival. Okay. Those are your 2. Anybody going to vie for athletics or survival? Since Leon's going perception. Okay. Benson?
I mean,
Actually,
is anyone going?
performance, I'm going to let you have it. I got an idea for it, and we'll talk about it, and you can tell me what you think you're going to do with performance, and I'll tell you what I think could be done with performance, and we'll handle that.
Pretend like he knows what he's doing.
I'm putting on a show, man.
Not what I was thinking, but go ahead.
We've got all of us viewing this.
Sweet jumps.
We've got 2 of us watching this.
I really think the only thing that would help would be nature and investigation.
Well,
maybe.
you could use Arcana to perform cantrips to kind of help with like ice areas.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
You
So
could-
Billy has Arcana. I know that. I'm
Okay.
going to do Arcana then.
Okay.
And
History might tell you a bit about the ridges, and it might be something beneficial towards like moving.
then those 2, yeah.
Okay. So we
Those
got
2.
Athletic Survival for Croc. We got Arcana History for Benson. We've got Vehicles Land with Leon and Shambles. Leon will be going Perception and Performance for Shambles. Acrobatics and Stealth for Raya. And last but not least, Gondar. Not much left on the docket, but
I'll use my insight and thieves' tools.
how would you like to use your Thieves' tools?
If my insight tells me that any of the parts of our ski contraption is starting to come loose, I'll use my thieves' tools to precisely retighten those bolts. From the movie Cool Runnings, I know that can be an issue.
Can I negotiate with you for investigation instead of insight?
Yes.
Okay. So investigation to keep an eye on the maintenance of the skis and the toboggan sleds themselves, and thieves' tools to be able to the fine work that you created with door handles and the like to create a movable system here. It's like literally door handles with attached to the door parts that are connected to pieces of wood that are your sleds. You will be able to fix those. All right. Does everybody understand the method of this madness then?
Not gun it.
All right, cool. So, do we have an order, good sir?
Kevin.
Oh,
Do you have an order for the dice?
I do. You want the first number, or you want the whole list?
Yeah, just go ahead and pop the list down. Wherever. Discord or this chat, it's fine. Cool. All
I
right.
do want to hear what your thoughts are on what performance could be.
So, understanding
Tokyo drifting down the mountain.
understanding a bit about
I like that
acoustics,
actually.
understanding a bit about acoustics, and understanding a bit about sound and harmonics, you come to a specific region or area where you feel that if people are very, very loud, it's going to cause problems with the ice sheets above. So, depending on your role, it'll depend on whether or not you'll be able to counter. Well, let me play it out for you. Here we go. First things first. Not too far after you leave Icefang Hold, you come to a point where you see what appears to be a standing stone with draconic rune markings carved into it. At the top portion of the standing stone, it looks like there's been kind of a bowl shape cut out of the top of it. And it looks like it is a bit worse for wear, but it seems like no snow or ice seems to linger on the stone itself.
Are we stopped here?
It can be, or you can continue past it. It's your choice. I'm just telling you what you see as you move.
Okay. Drivers?
I'm gonna keep moving. It's weird, but
Which sled's in front?
It would be Leon's sled up front.
Okay.
if anybody's got anything to call out, we're rolling.
Shambles' wagon's ready to just continue past it. Leon, since you're the driver on the other side, do you want to stop and investigate whatever this is, or do you want to just let it slide?
Are they ahead of us? Are they just passing it? If
No,
so,
you're in the
sticking-
front.
Oh.
You're up front. You're the decision maker.
You make the first call.
Screw it. Leave it.
Okay. All right. So you sled past the weird, strange standing stone and continue on for the next part of the day. You make it to here just as it starts to get to the second half of the day, kind of giving you an understanding as to how far you're moving per day. Not terribly fast. But it's a harsh journey, but it's not terrible. The weather seems to be pretty bad, but it doesn't seem to be as bad as it seemed to be up on Icefang Hold. During this next bit, your representative needs to roll me a D100.
That's Leon.
82.
1 second. Said 82.
Yep.
All right. So, as you kind of come about this area, you see what looks to be a small cave, not too far off the side there. Standing next to it is a broken up statue, and on the opposite side of where the broken up statue is, there is a statue that is still standing. It appears to be of a dwarven defender, axe and shield in place. The cave mouth appears to be damaged. It looks like there might have been some workmanship around the mouth of this cave, but it definitely looks like it is still and quiet, and nothing seems to be kind of about it.
You're asking if we're like going in or not?
I'm just telling you what you're seeing. Again, it's
Right.
up to you whether or not you want to do anything with it. It's getting closer to the end of the evening at this point, or the end of the day at this point. So a cave might serve as a pretty defensible place to camp compared to out in the icy wilderness.
And
Yeah,
he
let's do
said that
that.
it is icy, so it could be shelter as well. So, how
True.
does the weather look like it's going? Can I use
Um,
nature to check that out?
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll nature if you want. It definitely looks like it's not terribly bad.
18.
It definitely looks like it'll probably get very cold during the night, and based on what you saw on Ice Fang, it'll probably get windier once the temperature drops. The colder it is, the more wind there is.
Let that note. I tell that to the group and say this cave might be a good place to bed down for the evening. That way we can be ready to go at it tomorrow safely.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
can
holler
start.
out to Leon, slow it down.
Okay. 1 second here. All right. You slow down, and basically the cave is just off the side of the road there. And by road I mean the sheet of ice and snow that you've been using as your kind of trek point. You can see that this statue, the dwarf defender statue, when you get closer to it, it actually looks like it's not just a statue. It looks like it has mechanism to it, but it looks like it's completely frozen over. For you, Benson, you can see what appear to be a couple of clockwork screws on the back of it that might signify engines.
Can I look a little closer and try to see if I can maybe find a point to open it up?
Okay, so you move up close to it. You can see that it has a shield on one hand, and then it looks like it's holding an axe in the ground. But on that second arm, it also has another shield, so 2 shields on its arms. The head, it looks like someone took a carving of a stone and a stone dwarf and just put it on top of mechanism underneath. And it looks like the body has plating, like armor plating, but instead of it being metal on flesh, like a normal dwarf would be, it appears to be stone on metal. The body underneath the sculpture portion appears to be completely like inorganic, made of metal. It appears mostly.
I get kind of a blank look on my face for a second and go, Raya, would you like to come maybe check this for possibly traps or see how this works? Remembering as I set up a trap.
So it's a metal man wearing stone armor. Is that the point here?
Metal
With
dwarf.
ears in it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep, but it's big. It's not. It's statue sized. It's like 10, 12 feet tall. So I guess it's not a dwarf, but it's featured to look like a dwarf.
Got it. So do we investigate it?
Yeah, give me an investigation roll on this one.
I'd like to cast guidance and try to help him out, checking out with it.
I take it.
I'm going to secure the sleds.
Okay. Roll a d4. Add it to the 8.
I'll burn an inspiration.
Okay. Roll a d4. Add it to the 19.
23.
All right. So you realize that there appears to be some sort of mechanism on its back, kind of attached to the clockwork gears, and there seems to be a thin strand of copper wire that goes down into the snow. Inspecting this, you kind of watch the copper wire and see where it embeds, and you can see where it pops out of the snow near the door to the cave. It appears that there's a pressure plate, a good 10 feet pad of pressure plate at the entrance of the cave. You also look and see that there's a copper wire that appears to be attached to the broken up statue, the one that looks like it's the same thing as this one, but it's fallen apart because of its proximity to the wind. This one would be the one closer to the north side of the cave here.
So these seem like golems?
They appear to be some sort of automaton to you, and you feel like they are activated if someone were to step on that pressure plate.
We got robots.
Another thing with that check you would note is that their shields on the top ends near the fists, they appear to be hardened metal, like a very dense kind of silvery metal, which you're not familiar with. You're pretty sure that based on what you're looking at and then looking at the cave mouth, it's their operational function to, once activated, turn around and blast the sides of the door to cave it in.
Neat.
How thickly is that connected to them?
The wire?
Well, the actual gauntlets, the thing that actually
Oh, yeah.
punches the stuff closed.
They're in there. Yeah, they are pretty
Well,
much fastened
I-
onto the arms.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, how is it fastened on?
Oh, let me see here. I mean, I get your question. I just want to make sure.
I guess what I'm asking here, just to speed this up a little bit, because I don't want you to just go, yeah, no, it doesn't do anything.
Sure.
I have some acid, and I'm wanting to put some acid on it to take off the actual
Shields
part
and
to where
drum
if it does go off, it's not going to actually do anything.
So you see the hands, and they're holding onto like a massive bar, and the bar is connected to the shield in 2 points. So one on the side, and then at the wrist, there appears to be a massive binding of the same metal that's at the top of the shield that's wrapped around the wrist, and it looks like it's bolted in 3 places on the underneath and the sides to the shield in the middle.
Okay, so it's not coming off
It's
easily.
and this is the bolts in the bar are like that thick metal.
Okay. Just saying, I got.
Does it look like it can be deactivated or reprogrammed?
You feel like you can do one of 2 things. You can either deactivate the trap switch, the pressure plate and copper wire attachment, and make it so that if you step on the pressure plate, it won't trigger the golem to activate. The golem would still be activatable, but the thing that would activate it would be turned off. You could turn it on at any time you wanted, though, if you were successful. And then the other option is you feel that it's on a precarious enough position that if you had strong enough people, and this would be a lot harder than you think your group would be able to muster, but you might be able to pull the golem over and knock it aside. So even if it were to activate, it wouldn't do the thing that it's triggered to do. It might just fight or blow up. Who knows?
Does it seem like it walks over to its position, or is it like locked on a track?
It looks like it turns around. It looks like it has feet that are bipedal and movable on its own.
Okay. So do we just pack ice and snow underneath the trigger device? Keep it from depressing?
It would be more daggers or pitons, not so much snow, but yeah.
Does it look like if we just cut the wire, is it going to drop it and activate it?
He would tell you
Or
that
if we cut the wire with...
he would tell you that that's what the plate does. It kills the wire, which basically drops the thing. So terminating the wire early just does the same thing. But Jeremy, if you're wanting to seal the pressure plate with pitons,
Hold on. With what he just said, is there a way to deactivate the thing while it's moving,
no.
so that we can get it close to the door and use it get it close to the entrance and use it as a door or a windbreak?
No. It doesn't look like there's any way to reprogram it that you can see.
Well,
It's
not reprogram, just let it get close and then jam it so it fails at its...
You mean like pull the wire and then reattach the wire?
Yeah, that would work.
You don't know how fast it's going to move, but you can try it.
Seems super risky.
This is your shelter.
I mean, if it smashes the mouth of the cave, it's already done it before.
No,
No.
the other one broke before it was ever
No,
triggered.
the roof of the thing is all smashed in. That's what he told us when we got
No,
here.
no. I said it looked weathered.
Yeah. He's
You said it
There
looked
was
broken.
there was another one of these that was destroyed.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was trying to get us
Before-
inside
before-
so we can have better.
Before we get into any actions, I just want to make sure I'm answering any questions that you have about it. I'm going to go through the description of it one more time so I don't have another shambles
Not
teleports to
good.
the Ice Fang hole
It's
problem.
weathered, not
Okay.
smashed, but weathered. Got it.
Okay. I just don't want any...
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
How big is the cave mouth in relation to the sleds? Just getting back to Jeremy's concern, maybe we can put the sleds upright and use it as a windbreak that way in front of the cave.
It is about 10 feet wide and about 20 feet tall. And you think that if you were to pull in the coffins and kind of slot them on top of each other, 2 of them on top of each other, wind would still be able to get in through the top, but near the entrance it would be buffered.
And how deep is the snow out here?
It seems that a lot of it is sloughed off down a bit. It's I'd say about 4 feet.
Yeah. Because there's also the option of digging a hole and then just putting the sled on top of us.
It narrows too, like, so real quick I want to make sure you understand. Like the snow kind of is 4 feet where you're standing, and then it kind of sloughs off where the walk up is, and there's no snow kind of like on the entrance or the advance into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But typical survival tactic in the winter is you just dig
Dig
out of
all.
an igloo and cover yourself.
Yep. If you have survival trained, your character would know that.
So you guys just want to deactivate the trap and go in?
I would personally like to. I'd like to see.
That makes sense.
I vote that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Go ahead and make a Thieves' Tools intelligence check on this one.
Guidance.
And if you have better still, if you have someone who is trained in Arcana, they can aid you in this check, which means you have help instead of the guidance.
I was
spell.
gonna say we have 2 sets of thieves tools also. Can you not get guidance and aid at the same time?
This one is going to be. It's definitely a weird one. I would say, who's the other Thieves' Tools? Gondar?
Steve.
Okay, yeah, if Gondar wants to assist you, then I would say you could have help that way. That's fine.
And guidance would work on top of that, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Sounds good. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, stand on the other side of the dwarf thing.
Oh, we all are.
No, you're in the mouth. You're in the cave.
Anybody want to do a thing?
You have advantage. You've got help.
All right, I don't need it. So 15 plus a d4.
All right.
18.
So, are you trying to disarm it at the pressure plate or disarm it at the back?
I think at the plate.
Okay. As you're kind of trying to pinion in a bit of steel to kind of stop it from being able to drop, you feel kind of a slippage, and you feel it touch against something at the bottom, and you hear kind of a loud clunk sound. The second you hear that, everyone outside kind of watching it sees the golem turn in a snap second and slam both of its fists into the stone on the side. Raya, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
And, I'm sorry, Gondar as well, because you're helping.
17.
Okay.
$14.
All right. The golem slams into the stone with force. It looks like the left side holds, but the right side of it kind of in onto Raya and Gondar. Raya quickly dodges nimbly back and away, and Gondar is caught by the rocks and put underneath them. If you are Raya, you take 18 points of damage, and if you are Gondar, you take 32, and you are currently restrained.
Ow.
And unless they get you out in about a what's your Constitution score?
I don't know. 14?
In 14 rounds, you're going to start suffocating.
No way. Okay.
Grok would run up and start
Namlock
digging.
is already running.
I'll dash and start digging him out.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
we all will.
I'm the fastest thing that's not an elk.
If you work as a team, I would like for Gondar to just roll a D100.
$38.
All right. During the process, it feels like there's a lot of weight being put on you as they're trying to get the weight off of you. So you're going to take an extra 6 points of bludgeoning damage as they're basically walking on top of you to get you out. But they do manage to pull you out, probably a lot worse for wear as that happens. The golem seems to deactivate after smashing it in. It does look like it's possible to get into the cave still, but only just. You won't be able to pull the wagon or pull the toboggans in.
So the golem was blocking the door.
No, the golem turned and slammed its fists into the side column of the door, and then the roof portion of the door, the archway, and that side of the door kind of caved in. But because the other one didn't do the thing it was supposed to because it was broken, the whole door didn't shut. It just wounded the people who were trying to deactivate the traps.
Where did the golem go?
It stays right there with its fists against the door
Okay.
frame. So it's off to the right.
Cool. It just means we have a smaller hole we have to block with the toboggan.
How's Steve looking? How is he looking? Really tore up.
Yeah, I'm at a good amount of pain. But if we're resting, I should be okay. You know, sleep doesn't matter if you're missing an arm. Take a good night's sleep. just does wonders, right?
All right, cool, man. Yeah,
Hey, just
all right.
saying, Raya also got smashed by a bunch of rocks, you dicks, and doesn't look great himself.
We
Hey.
didn't have to dig Raya out.
Right. You didn't have to get dug out.
No, but caught in the same landslide.
The chamber before you, as you enter into the doorway there, it does look like it is a cave entrance 10 feet wide that proceeds on for quite a distance. It looks like it is a worked cave. So it looks like there's like cave walls, like, you know, natural kind of cave walls. But it looks like they've been kind of shorn back, and there are kind of buttresses to hold up more treacherous points. The ground looks like it's completely worked. You can see tiling, and you can also see that there are a couple of grates nearby where you're at, and there seems to be a little bit of steam kind of rising up from them. It's actually pretty warm in here compared to out there, but it does look like this entryway leads into a long hallway that continues for some time.
Sounds like we're about to do some more grave robbing.
Ooh.
Or you can just stay at the door, get your rest, and continue on down the mountain.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like what we're gonna do.
I mean, if we're gonna spelunk, whoever was thinking about healing me, then that I wouldn't know if we're gonna. I'm
We
not
could
really
do it
good
in the morning
at
after
spelunking.
we sleep.
Get some rest. I'll post up out the entrance
Okay.
of the cave if
Whoever's still
the other
able can
watch wants to look out down the hallway.
tie the toboggan together and use one to block what's left of the door.
Sure. I'll have Grok help with that. He's the survival man.
So, for the next 3 points of the evening, if you're planning on camping at the front door, I need your watch cycle, please. I need to know who is awake and when.
Me and Shambles doing the normal.
Okay. So, mostly you and Little Shambles.
Just a little fella.
Yeah. Okay. So then, is a Little Shambles happening in the middle or at the end? Or at the beginning?
What do you mean? The whole time?
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean to say, like, when is Raya unconscious for his block?
I'm never unconscious.
You do have to rest for 2 hours.
Yeah, but I don't go unconscious for it. Isn't that part of the whole phase?
Right, right. I mean to say, when are you trancing, not unconscious? You're not active during that time.
No, but I'm still alert.
No, I get you. I'm wondering who's walking around and looking instead of just looking in one position.
I don't think anybody's walking anywhere. We're just camping
Just
until everybody's healed.
Okay. So then I would like for the two of you to make perception checks based on that with disadvantage.
Hold on. We'll be back to back. Do you want outside or hallway? Zach.
I'll be looking outside.
Okay.
So I have dwarven hallways.
All right. So
Perception with disadvantage.
during the first portion of the evening, as the sun starts to narrow, Shambles, you see a massive blue and white worm moving across the snow, the same direction that you were going, and start kind of looking around near here, and then continue on moving in the direction that you're going.
Worm as in dragon?
W-O-R-M.
Drake thing?
W-O-R-M. Sorry, it's a big,
Worms and
massive
worm.
snake-like creature with two massive mandibles, a huge face of teeth. Let me see if I can find a picture of one.
Sounds like chilling here for a while is going to be a good idea anyway.
Alaskan bull.
I got P.
Good luck. Posted in the Discord.
So this thing was following the same path and happened to pass by our cave and continue on that path?
If you had to venture a guess, you're presuming that it followed your trail and then continued past the cave.
Oh man.
All right.
It's an Osirian frost worm.
Nice. I feel like I should tell somebody about that. It looks like bad news. Leon shouldn't be in bad shape, and he would know more about wildlife than most of us. I would try to get his attention and describe what I just saw.
Okay. Leon, make a nature roll. And it was massive enough, you're pretty sure it could probably swallow anybody in the group whole, just based on its
17.
size. Reflecting back on stories you've heard of people around the Ice Fangs, they do mention tales of polar worms or frost worms, which are massive predatory creatures that burrow through the snow and through dirt, ice, rock, what have you. They are capable of swallowing human-sized creatures whole. Typically, if they are onto something, like they are going to be hunting it, they can be heard from some distance away because they let out a very horrifying trill that kind of signifies that they are engaging the hunt. It doesn't seem that the creatures do this for the benefit of anything else hearing it, so much as to say they're doing it because they are excited to get some food.
But if he's really loud and we're in the icy, snowy mountains, couldn't that trigger like an avalanche or something crazy? That just sounds
You are
exceptionally.
definitely focusing on all the possibilities. That's a possibility. But so far as to say, throughout the day and throughout the evening portion, you have not heard any trilling behind you. So if it is onto you, it has not done the thing that it's supposed to do when it is.
But it's gonna suck when it does, or if it does. Oh god. Trill.
Do you think we're safe in here?
One more thing.
I don't know that it's sticking around necessarily, but it seems like it might have followed us.
One more thing with the roll that you got, because it's pretty good. The polar worms are apex predators. They do not hunt in packs. They are solitary individual creatures, but they are definitely well beyond what you think is possible for you and your group to survive. It's best to avoid it. But the other thing I wanted to mention in that is not only do they are awesome. Here's the best. They are sometimes followed by creatures known as remorazes, which will pick up their leavings. Since they're so massive, they can bring down the biggest of prey, mammoths and the like. And remorazes will sometimes follow them and kind of pick up the leftovers. Remorazes are also pretty big and nasty, but slightly less than that.
Just sounds all around bad. Like we should leave.
This is a picture of a remoraz.
This place has lovely
It's
wildlife.
also huge.
It's
all worms.
It's
It's all
not
worms.
It's not as big. That thing is large. The polar worm is gargantuan.
It's worms all the way down.
How do they survive out here? There's nothing. All right, cool. Let's.
Mammoths are a possibility.
I mean, if they're the ones going after mammoths, I doubt it's going after us. We would be probably too small.
Yeah, you're right. We're probably safe.
Yeah, these other ones, though.
All right. On 13, I believe is the next roll, right? Yep. Okay, cool. So during the middle of the night, you do see, with that check, very noticeable kind of marks on the snow, kind of following in that direction. What do you do at that point, Shambles? Are you just going to keep an eye on them? Or do you want to move closer to see if you can get a better vantage on them? Or what? They look like Bugs Bunny trails moving through the snow in the same direction.
Do they appear to slow down at all, or are they keeping pace with the worm I saw?
Based on your position, you're only able to see out and up. You're not able to see once they get to where you are because it's kind of sloped down, or beyond that. So you kind of lose track of them unless you move up and check at a certain point. Since you're just sitting inside of the cave mouth looking out through the narrow hole that's left.
I'll poke my head out, see if
Make a stealth check.
I'll sneak. 23.
Although I know I'm supposed to roll those, but that's a pretty good roll. You kind of lower your hat down and kind of move out to the end, kind of looking out with your button eyes, and you see two of the creature I've already shown you, the Remoras, kind of sniffing around near the toboggans and kind of moving about, and then they kind of drop back into the snow after about a minute or so. But you're just kind of watching them, and then they
Perfectly still watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I figured that was the case, and then they just trail down the mountain as well.
Right. Creep back inside and resume position.
Okay. The rest of the evening goes by pretty uneventfully. Nothing untoward happens.
I'm sorry. I was getting talked at for a little bit. Can we explore the cave a little bit more and what was in here, or have we already done?
Oh, no. Sorry, we were taking a long rest to try and get some rest back. Real quick, too.
Cave exploration in the morning.
Real quick note. Gritty realism is in effect, so we are currently not in a safe position. The back is bad, and the front is bad, and it's cold. Well, it's relatively warm compared to outside, but it's still not like sleeping in a warm bed. So since this is an unsafe long rest, for all characteristics, it counts as if you'd taken a short rest.
Confirm that the cave is bad. Didn't know
Then
that.
that needs to retcon everything, because healing would have had to have taken place before any of this happened. The whole reason we rested was
No.
for the healing.
You didn't complete the rest. I never said you completed the rest. You're always supposed to do healing and everything after a rest is completed, not before.
No. He asked about healing, and he said, no, I don't need to be healed magically
Oh,
because we're about to go to sleep.
no, he won't gain spells back either, so...
I was going to give him a potion. I don't have healing spells.
Yeah, so that's
Fine,
fine.
because it's a short rest, so I can still toss hit die. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm also, like, totally fucked up.
Just use your hit
Okay.
die. All good.
Yeah, I would give it to whoever looks like they would need it. I just figured, since he was crushed and pinned down and wasn't breathing, and he had the...
No,
Raya,
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I believe
He was blue
Raya's
in
a
the face.
bit narrower than Gondar.
His nose was running. There were a lot of tears in his eyes.
One of the rocks hit him right on the tip of its nose.
Right on the schnoz.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, so are we going into the cave or are we continuing down the mountain?
No, we gotta figure out who all's getting healed with what and when.
Okay,
Okay.
well, I have a potion I'm willing to give to whoever needs it.
I mean, I could heal. I have some spell slots.
How many hit dice can you spend in a short rest?
All of them.
Many as you want.
Many as you want.
And nobody here gives any bonuses to them, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
We
We
know
have-
we
hold
had
on,
moon
hold on.
milk, but we traded.
You traded my moon milk?
I traded. Oh, I guess I traded my moon milk for some potions or whatever from that dwarf.
I have 5 applications of moon milk.
Okay.
That maxes the hit die.
One other thing I need to do.
Yes.
Steve, can you go ahead and roll me a D100?
Sure. 23.
So as your guys are talking, like, oh man, that was a really rough rest. Are you still okay? Do you need some help? You see a person kind of peeking into the cave. He goes, "Hey, boss," and you see Kane. You guys rest? I'm fucking tired. Walks in and settles down in the cave.
See, easy. I knew we'd make it. This is just like going home for him, being in a.
Yeah. He's gonna sleep right there in the cave. Before he does get to bed, he says to you, boss, I saw a couple of Remorazes. You guys should watch out if you're going to continue on. This is a weird complex, though. He looks over at Raya, looks over at Benson, looks over at... that's pretty much the two people he looks at. I'm pretty sure they're going to try and investigate it based on what the other guy said.
Yeah, it's usually what we do. We don't. No stone unturned with this group.
How many moon's milks can be used per short rest?
One.
Can you
It only
remind-
affects
so
one hit die.
Does it only affect one hit die, or does it affect all of them?
One hit die.
Oh. Okay. So you could maximize one hit die, I guess is the idea?
Correct. That's the point. Yep. You also
Okay.
have some mellification if you're looking for healing. I don't know how much of that you have left.
What?
The honey.
No, I think he sold all that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because I got us a bunch of potions and greater potions.
I thought you kept some of it though.
I don't know.
The mellification.
No,
the mummy.
no,
the mummy
oh,
honey.
Yeah, the mummy honey is at Fort Phalanx.
Got it.
'Cause we didn't find like a buyer for it.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey shit, but would be useful here. All right. So are we going in?
Benson, why don't you hand one of the potions over to Raya? Because he keeps getting in some spots.
I'm more than happy to. I will definitely give that to someone else who needs it.
Yeah, I still have a potion up. We are
No, give them to the people that don't get into spots, so they can force them when they fall.
Okay. Benson, keep it.
All right, yeah, man, I'm real happy keeping it. Oh, I'm sure that's fine. Yeah, I got it.
Don't give it to Raya because Raya wants you to use it on him. Like ultimately, that's what it boils down to.
I mean, I don't mind being healed by the party. It is kind of cool when people do it.
Yep. Are you saying you want it right now? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm 7 shy right now after using most of my hit dice.
All right. Is the plan to move in?
no stone on. Wait.
I do want them all to understand that I saw one big worm and potentially 2 smaller worms sliding down the mountain at some
And
point last night.
if that's the case, we need to stay here a little while longer anyway to put more distance between us. If we travel faster than they do and we run into them, we're still fucked.
It's true.
That's a good
All
point.
We're gonna explore the cave. I'm gonna leave Namwalk behind to watch over Kane because Kane passed out from hiking what we sledded.
Smart. Leon, are you taking the elk with you? Of course it can fit. Anywhere you can go, it can go.
Yeah.
It's a 10-foot wide chamber. The elk will have to take its own kind of slot, either at the beginning, middle, or end of the itinerary. But who are the first 2 in the lead position?
Oh, it shambles.
I'll go
Shambles
up there.
and
shambles.
second position. Elk with Leon.
Raya, or isn't it Raya for traps usually?
No,
Second
rise
position?
rise up front. It's 10 wide.
I'm in front.
2 people in first position.
Yep, shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, I'll be number 3.
Okay.
We do a lot of hand holding this round.
Before we start going down, does anything from my history kind of hit that what this might be, or where this might be, or what it might possibly be connected to?
Go ahead and make an history check. And what was your background again for this one? Guild artisan, right?
Researcher.
That's right. Researcher. Never mind. The sage one. Cool. Because you usually play an archaeologist when you play a short wizard, and I was I was like, no, he's not Indiana Jones.
I'm a history teacher. This one.
Yeah. So kind of Indiana Jones still.
Never mind. I don't know what's going on.
The one thing that you're sure of, the one thing you know for sure, is it's Dwarvish.
Sweet, got it.
And
Guys,
maybe
I don't think it's Dwarvish. It's not Dwarvish. I rolled a 1. I do not think this is.
No. The one thing you know for sure.
No, I'm just teasing. I'm saying like with a 1, there's no way it can be right.
I'm telling you that because it's wrong.
Oh, yes, it's Dwarvish.
The one, but I was trying not to say that was the case. I thought you'd get it. But Ryan shambles up front.
That was the joke that I was doing.
Well, it worked.
Yay!
Ryan shambles up front. Then the elk, or is it then Grok and
then the Gondar.
and Grok, and then the elk,
Sure.
and then Benson in the back, or are you going to be up on? No, I don't think. In a short position, it's going to have to be elk and then Leon and Benson behind it. You won't be able to ride this guy in this one. All right.
We're going stealth op for this whole thing. 10-foot spacing between pairs.
I mean, stealth might be out the window because the trap activated and smashed its fists against the wall, but we can still.
I see nothing.
I'm gonna need to light a torch.
Okay.
Don't light a torch. Have Benson give you light. because you're made out of paper.
I'm going to put out that torch and assume Benson is giving me light.
Does he cast light on the torch head?
Nice.
I would cast it on a piece
I
of
feel more
himself.
comfortable.
No, it's
Cast
like
it on a piece of yourself so you
Well,
can
I can-
snuff
I
it
can
when we
stow
need
it.
to.
It's a torch. It's
Yeah.
a stick.
it's throwable too.
Not for a monk.
Yeah, you can throw it. Okay.
If you throw it at me, and I
Can everybody see?
yes, I can.
Andy,
Looks good.
you good, Andy? Can you hear me, Andy?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I couldn't hear you before.
Yes,
Though.
I can hear you.
Can you see?
You're
it?
lagging a little bit, Andy.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit, bud.
All right, hold on.
Should be able to see. Everybody should have sight. The grates I mentioned that were in the front chamber, they appear to be present here, but in a different pattern. Looks like the first one you see is kind of on the right side. The next one you see is kind of on the left side. And then a little bit further up ahead, it looks like there's two more that are side by side. As you're kind of entering in, you hear the sound of what appears to be water. And it seems that it's coming from the double grate up ahead.
I would cautiously move forward to investigate that.
Okay.
And check the grates, make sure they're sturdy enough we can cross them.
Very sturdy.
Is there still steam coming out of it?
There isn't. It seems that the temperature in here appears to be kind of equalized, and it actually looks like the ground has like white powder on it. But very quickly you realize that it's not snow; it's salt.
And I didn't ask this before, but the steam that was coming out in the chamber of it was just pure like water steam, or did it have like a scent?
The chamber smelt like probably like Canada, really, kind of snowy and like mountainy and just normal musk. But the smell here is very clinical. It smells very dry. Is the very first thing you kind of note, and it smells kind of just clean. Like I mean, you've been to a hospital, I'm sure. Like it smells like a hospital.
Oh, I hate the smell of a hospital. A hospital's one of the places that smells dirty and clean at the same time.
Yep, it is it smells mostly like the clean portion of a hospital. If that makes any sense. Probably not, but we're going with it.
Top floor.
Yeah. Okay. You move to the grate and investigate it. Looking in, about a foot below where you're at, there appears to be a greenish, kind of yellow-green liquid moving from the left side of the map to the right side of the map. So your character's right to your character's left. It seems to be moving at a pretty decent clip, and it doesn't seem to have an odor to it. There's nothing kind of rising up past the smell that's currently present, the salty kind of smell.
It seems like it's clean water.
No, it's green and yellow colored liquid.
Okay.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't move like water either.
But it's moving pretty quickly, you said?
It's moving at a pretty good clip. I would say
Running.
like when you kind of turn the fountain just about halfway? Like about that speed.
Sure. Okay. You said it was just a foot or so down below the grate?
It's a foot down beneath the grate. You don't know how
And
deep
it seems
is.
like it's a liquid that is flowing, not like a creature that is moving.
Correct. It definitely looks like a liquid that is flowing. If you sit there for a little while and continue watching it, it doesn't stop flowing.
Okay. And the grates are secure enough we can walk on them. They're not trapped or anything.
Inspecting them, they appear to be solid, yeah.
Was that a door we passed?
No, it does appear to be kind of just a small alcove position with space for you to kind of reach down and kind of pull up and out the grate if you wanted to. The two grates above are movable, and the grate on the right side of the map, or Raya's left rather, would be movable here. The grates with a prominent X.
Okay, I'm gonna step over it.
Okay. If you've ever walked downtown and you've stepped across, sewer grates, that are kind of out on the sidewalk. It kind of has the same feel. You definitely get a certain kind of sense of the depth just by standing on it. It definitely feels like the liquid beneath is probably, a bit deeper than you would like to be in. As you move into this next hallway, the path to the left is a metal door. It has the same kind of shimmer shine that the door to the monastery, or the shrine rather, had after the dragon had dealt with it, in that it looks like there's like a layer of ice kind of coating it. But at the base of this ice, it looks like there's like a small amount of liquid that's kind of just resting at the door base. Your presumption is that the salt and the water, frozen water at the bottom, have kind of reacted together and have formed a little bit of a puddle. The door does look like it's completely frozen over, though. Past that, down the other passageway, there looks like there's another door. This one not frozen over, but similar construction to the frozen door, and an open door that looks like it leads into a chamber on the right side, or the top rather, as you're looking at it.
Are
Can
those
I
coffins?
stand on the outside of that door, try to give a listen? Do I hear anything other than the liquid running underneath?
Which door?
The door that's open on the north.
Oh yeah, if you move around to it, you can see that the liquid does move through the wall there, and it looks like there are a series of metal beds that are kind of placed up on simple kind of iron legs with reinforced buttresses kind of set or positions underneath them. On top of the beds, there appear to be bodies, all in certain states of kind of repose. It doesn't look like they've rotted at all, and it looks like they are completely kind of like locked in their position. Some of them have been cut up in different ways, but it doesn't look like there's a single drop of blood anywhere in the room.
Is there a mechanism that controls this door?
It looks like it's just a regular door with a doorknob and a lock mechanism, but no
Is it locked from
mechanism.
the inside or the outside?
Appears to lock from the inside.
And which way did the door swing?
Doors swing outward, so they swing toward you.
Because I'm getting a real mummy vibe out of this, and I kind of want to just close these doors. What do you think, Shan? Huh?
So let me just take a look. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gross.
So if you inspect the bodies for a second, you'll note that it does appear that
I will inspect them from the door.
it does inspect that it does appear that some of them have been kind of calcified, and it does appear that some of them have been kind of salt dried. Like I said, there doesn't appear to be any blood or spattering of blood anywhere. So it would seem that whatever happened to the bodies happened prior to them being dissected. The one thing that you note, though, Raya, from this distance, the one thing that is uniform amongst all of them is that their heads all have the tops, the crowns, cut open, and the innards of where the brain would be are empty.
I imagine most of the bodies are pretty empty if this is all salt in here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of salt on the ground, and there's a lot of just bodies.
We don't see any other track. Like there's salt all over the ground, right?
Yep.
We don't see any tracks anywhere.
Make a survival check.
Survival?
For tracking tracks, yeah.
Okay. Thought it would have been like investigation. 12.
Well, baseline, you can see the tracks that you can see. There do look like there are a couple of footprints that kind of move through the salt near the bodies towards the top north portion. Like someone's kind of walked between the spots. But you aren't able to discern much about the footprints other than they're present.
Now that he's located them, I would ask Rock or Leon to come over and figure out how fresh they are.
Yeah. See, seeing them isn't the hard part, Zach. It's figuring out what the hell they mean.
I can help as well.
I'd be happy to work on that.
Alright.
22.
Grok, you take a look at them, and you realize that they appear to be humanoid. Based on their boot size, and they are wearing boots, they appear to be dwarvish, a dweogar in nature, some sort of dwarven-blooded creature, because they have wide-soled feet and kind of wide front feet.
Mm-hmm.
So the boots are massive. It would seem that all of the footprints present are for one individual, and based on what you're seeing, the last time that they were in or around this place was, at least a decade.
Oh, I would definitely say that. So these are not new.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still going to close these 2 doors and bind them from the outside. If there's pull handles on them, I'll tie them closed with a section of rope.
Yeah, so anything inside will have a hard time getting out, is definitely for sure. Because they open towards you, so you're basically barring them on your side. Cool.
And I'll cut off like 10 feet of rope and bind the door handles together.
Okay.
Benson, would you have any clue what this liquid is beneath us?
Can I investigate it, John?
Well, you definitely doesn't have a smell, and it's just kind of a greenish, kind of yellow color. Without kind of a closer touch of it, or a sample, it's going to be hard to do anything with it. You're thinking.
Do we have a vial anywhere? I'll reach down.
Yeah, I have lots of vials. So if we want, he said we can remove the ones with X's. So we could remove this one up here and try to send a vial down, and we can do a little more studying.
Okay. Do you do that?
Yeah, I'll help him out.
Okay. Tell me
Which
how.
grade are they?
The one back up outside of the room with the bodies.
We have these out here too.
Those ones don't look like they have access points.
Oh,
Okay.
they had X's.
Well, we definitely had one at the entrance.
For sure.
We'll
Go back.
just backtrack to that.
I'm going to wait here.
Okay. Riot, you do see that the stone up ahead with your elf eyes does look like it's a bit cracked. Like something heavy kind of slammed down. Or
Down
something.
or up?
You should be able to see kind of there. It looks like something kind of
Landed on it or pushed it up from the bottom?
landed on it.
Okay. And then my next step when they're done will be investigating the southern door here.
Okay. Real quick for Operation Vial Gather, what's the plan? Tell me how you're gathering it.
What I'm going to do is
Nothing, because now we know it's bile.
I said vial.
Oh, they said bile. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm going to go ahead and take out one of my crossbow bolts, and I'm going to take out a vial, and I'm going to take some string, tie the vial to the end of the
Ladle
crossbow
action.
bolt.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do that, and then you lower the crossbow bolt into the liquid, and after a fashion, you feel like the weight kind of against it, and then you feel like there's no longer any weight. And as you pull it up, you see the remnants of the vial kind of just slagging off of the remnants of the bolt, which also falls off. You now have a crossbow bolt with no either back or head, your choice.
Yeah, so that's probably acid.
It wouldn't be acid because acid doesn't react to glass.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have acid on me.
It does
So-
not appear to be acid based on the way
Okay.
the way it dissolved. Normally, acid will kind of like react to the element and kind of cause it to like bubble up and postulate and kind of dissipate that way. This looks like it melted it, slagged it out, like
Okay,
heat.
so
But
history or I mean,
What is it? Some sort of magma?
it is definitely not magma. It is a cold green liquid, not magma. Go ahead and make another Arcana check if you'd like.
Yeah, I thought it was yellow. It's green?
Yellow green.
He said greenish yellow. He said both colors a couple times there.
You'll eventually see it.
I know what this is.
You don't know
It's
what
slagma.
it is. I mean, if it wasn't before, it is now. I'm gonna check and see if that's copyrighted.
I have no idea.
All right. Yeah, it's weird.
I'll give him inspiration. I'm curious about this.
All right. Well,
I'm a lab assistant today.
you are pretty sure that it would have to have some heat to it to have done what it did, but it doesn't seem to be emanating any, which is very strange. And that's all you really gather from it. You do not know the liquid, though, even with a 17.
Waste of time.
I don't know. Maybe
Anyway,
we can
that
like
stuff's gross and don't touch it.
we can find one of these dwarfs and just ask him what it is.
All right. Raya, on your point, this door does appear to have a lock on it. The lock has a number of Dwarvish runes kind of around the keyhole. But other than that, it does not have a door handle. It does not have visible hinges or anything. It is literally just two flat slats of what appears to be steel or iron. with the key lock mechanism in the center and the Dwarvish Runes around it.
And is it a keyhole that you can see through?
It is not seeable through, but looking into it, you can see that the mechanism inside is quite intricate. It is, from what you can tell, it appears to have the key will be very noticeable to you. Make a Thieves' Tools intelligence check. This is not to open it. This is just to try and identify the key. If you roll good enough, though, you will figure out how to open it.
23.
All right, not good enough to be able to open it, by the way. But you have an idea of how the key will work. Basically, the key mechanism will slide in, and the key will have kind of a hook to it. Upon sliding it at a certain distance, it'll drop and allow you to pull it back, which actually engages the tumblers. Turning it at that point will allow for the tumblers to be activated. If you were to put your tools in there, you would have to have very specific tools or damage your tools as they are now just to try for it, which means you'll be going through more tools than you would like to if you were to try and break it. Also,
This is locked from our side, though.
yes. And from what you can tell, well, no, sorry. It's key locked. You're not sure what the other side will be. It's locked
Okay.
on both sides. The Dwarvish runes around it, to you, indicate some sort of arcane measure or countermeasure on the locking mechanism. Having picked a few locks in your day, you're pretty sure the spell Arcane Lock has been cast upon this door.
And it is Dwarvish.
Dwarvish markings, yes.
Okay.
You speak Dwarf, don't you?
I do not. I speak deep.
Okay. Well, I don't think they use the same alphabet, but someone would be able to go, yeah, those are Dwarvish runes. Dwarvish markings there.
It's some sort of Dwarvish. I
It's
can't read
It's
it.
code around a lock. It only means like one of three things.
Yeah.
And they all mean don't touch, so.
Or I lock it, super lock. All right, but yeah, this door seems very locked.
Can I tell which way it opens?
It
Never mind. Doesn't matter. You said it doesn't have any handles or anything on it. So
Yeah. But
that's
based
important. Can't
based
buy
on
it.
the door above you, it seems that it would open the same way that the other one did. It opens towards you.
Okay. Unless anybody has something they can wedge in here that would keep this thing from opening from the other side until we get back. Sounds like a no. All right.
Pitchfork.
Moving on. No, you don't need that.
I haven't used
He
it for combat
always
once.
needs that.
All right, there are two doors wide open and a large crack in the center. As you kind of come over this grating, you can hear the liquid flowing.
Hold on. Benson and Grok back up. 10-foot spacing. Because if we get crushed, you guys don't want to.
Sorry, social distancing, everybody.
Yeah. Full on quarantine mode.
So like I said, two doors open already. They are there's another panel that or series of grates rather that leads down. The liquid sound seems to be coming from them as well. To the south, you can see that the room is very similar in kind to the chamber that you closed and barred off. There are no bodies in here, only skeletons. And it looks like there are several long needles in certain bones, and they are connected, these long needles, like stuck in the bones, they are connected to a bag at the end, which, based on what you can see, it looks like are slowly, very, very slowly, filling up with the contents of the bones. The marrow.
Benson, what eats bone marrow? And then are the grates safe to cross?
Yeah, grates are fine.
Okay. And then I'm going to
So
bar these
this-
doors.
Crack
The
in
same
the
way.
floor. You said something appeared to have dropped onto this ground?
Something slammed there, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing going on in the ceiling above it?
No. The ceilings,
Can I
by the
bind
way...
these doors?
Oh,
Can we
oh.
see the ceilings from where we are?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me explain. The ceilings are only about 10 feet, or 8 feet high. Probably closer to 7. They're really short. But all along them, there's just reinforced iron holding up the stone above you. And the stone looks like it's not well worked. It looks kind of natural cavern-like. But the walls here are pretty well refined, but not kind of roughly so. The ground and the doors seem to be the things that are of the highest caliber in design. Everything else seems to be just kind of rudimentary and done just for function rather than ornateness.
Okay. So I would call Grok for medicine and Benson for arcana to check the bags without entering, do all their thoughts on bone marrow and stuff, and then when they're done, I'm going to bind this door.
Okay. And you were also asking questions about the northern area?
We'll get to that one after they finish.
Yeah,
this.
I'm just waiting here.
Okay.
I will check.
All right. So go ahead and Arcana, and then Grok Medicine.
Ooh.
Oh my god, I can't roll over an 8 tonight.
Do you have inspiration? Because then
I
you do.
do. I'm going to use inspiration.
All right. Bone marrow, specifically of humanoid creatures, can be used as magical components, specifically for the generation of healing potions. Bone marrow or vital blood, or any kind of like pure blood. Out of character note, this might get disgusting, but some of you might have heard this if you played in my games before. The pure nuns of Jernaris use menstrual blood for potions. Bone marrow is used in some cases for potions. The blood from a fresh heart of a creature, humanoid creature, is used by less goodly folk to create healing potions. But typically some sort of freely given or pure blood is required for the generation of healing potions in this setting.
Yes.
And if you actually go into the room to check that, you would see that there are 3 boxes filled with vials, very similar to potion bottles you've seen in and around your region, that are just kind of sitting kind of in their boxes, empty.
No, we're not going in there.
You can kind of see one from there. To the north, it does look like the path meanders a bit. You can see that the path goes into the wall, the water path or the liquid path, and it also diverges south. The streaming that you're hearing underneath you currently, Raya, isn't as strong as the one you heard in the first chamber and in the body chamber. As you come to this one, you can hear it is a bit more powerful than both of the 2 streams. It seems it diverges here.
It was flowing to here from us, or
away.
from here to us before.
Away. You're moving to the source. So it's moving this way.
Okay. Got
And
it.
then it's a lighter flow that way and a heavier flow through this wall and out towards the entrance. It does look like there is a bit of salt on the metal and on the ground here. And it does look like there's an open pit filled with the liquid. And you can see the color now. Kind of a yellowish green.
That means rust. Watch your step.
Yeah, we're investigating the grates as we move.
Oh yeah, I apologize. The grates are rusty as hell. I forgot to mention that pit too. I assumed you figured that out, but yeah. The walls in this room on the south and west side are covered with grates as well. These grates appear to be just completely black beyond them. But if you kind of move closer to them, if you and you breathe, there's kind of a scent of fresh mountain air coming from them. Your presumption is that the walls here kind of lead up and out of the mountaintop.
I'm gonna take a handful of salt and drop it in the slagma.
Okay. That happens.
Okay, does it look like it melts, or does it kind of float on top?
Yeah, it just kind of like vanishes into the liquid.
Okay.
Your presumption is dissolved, but you're not sure.
Okay.
They just had a slug problem. So do we go through Smash Room or continue north?
I think we should check this and get it sealed off while we're here.
You want me to take point?
We're together. We're a team.
We can be on walls and stuff. Don't forget.
Oh, that's true. I did forget. Well, the wall's like in here.
The walls in here, like I said, the ones on the south and the west, they're the grates that seem to lead up to the roof. The wall on the right side is just kind of natural, kind of cavern wall. And same's true of the northern wall that has the door in it to the left there.
Okay, then I will
You said
leave
this is
the
a... Sorry?
Pit filled with the
that's
liquid.
that is slagma. I'm gonna leave you to the door, and I'm gonna walk on the wall over the slagma.
Okay. If you're moving across to the northern side, you'll see that the room beyond looks like it has a series of different connection points. It looks like the main one, the main vein that you've been following, kind of comes out of the wall there. It does look like there's another vein here as well, and a vein there. Based on where you're currently standing, you're not really getting a sense of where the liquid's going from these chambers, which direction's what. But this one's very easy. There's a very slow trickle of liquid, that drops into the slagma pit beneath. And looking at it, it's like just kind of like a little bit of like drop every so often off of the ledge area. And looking at the surface that the liquid's moving out of and onto, it appears to be solid stone. So it looks like stone is not affected by the slagma.
Is that what the vat is made of?
It appears that the vat's walls and such are made out of stone as well.
Okay.
I will stay about 15 feet off. Or how tall is the room in here? I guess.
It's 10 feet, or like 7 feet is the ceiling. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll just cling to the wall and keep moving across. Shambles, you're gonna take that doorway over there on the left.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop over the right. I'm gonna make sure the others know not to step on these particular.
You've
No, I
got
think the grates are sturdy. They're just rusted over.
you've got more bodies
Even still.
on the north side, and it does look like between a couple of them there are little tables with a series of tools on each, and on the wall between the tables that don't have a body, it looks like there's a chalkboard on the wall. The chalkboard has Dwarvish markings kind of written on it, and it looks like there's, based on what you're looking at, you're not sure because again you don't speak Dwarvish, but yep.
Step inside.
Who speaks Dwarvish?
As you're kind of moving on in through the space here, Leon, the elk kind of goes and then kind of shakes it off.
Quick, medical history. What is your elk allergic to? Is it mummies?
Based on what you're seeing here, Leon, it seems to be having a problem with the stuffy air. It's really dry and nasty in here, and it seems like its nose is kind of overcompensating with sneezy.
It's in the fresh air room right now.
Oh yeah, if you put it in the fresh air room, then it's fine.
Right,
It's standing in there right now.
He can stay adjacent.
Yeah, he's fine then. All right. I guess on the lead up to that point, the elk sneezed. But yeah,
Who
the
speaks Dwarvish?
Dwarvish chalkboard.
I can.
Okay,
I was gonna guess either Steve or Jody.
so there's
Who's got the ring?
Oh, that's me. Did I keep that or did I give that back to you, Jody?
I believe you kept it. I don't have it on my list.
I forgot all about. Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
Somebody here's wearing a ring. You can read everything in here.
I completely forgot. Where's the chalkboard?
chalkboard's right where you were. Yeah. So looking at it,
Only had a rain.
My bad.
it looks like it's a series of equations, arcane equations, and then it looks like there's a couple of notes on the bottom scrawled out, and it says, "Please be sure to send only clean, unsalted brains. Thank you." And then near that note, it says, "Please refer to the marrow room with any untapped spines. Thank you."
I'm gonna read it nice and slowly to Benson because that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I'm guessing it
Unsalted
sounds like-
brains.
You get to piggyback that 26 Arcana from the marrow room.
And untapped spines.
Is that something that would happen, John, or is this a new game?
Sorry. Are you what?
Piggybacking that 26 from the marrow room, just of what I know about this, would that give me an idea of? I mean, my first guess would be the healing. They're making potion.
Yeah, it seems that they're making potions. The brains, not so much. I'd say with that 26, you're still kind of riding on it. You're kind of factoring in. You speak Dwarvish as well, right?
I can, yes.
You can right now.
When I say
or-
I can't, no. When I say I can, I'm saying I have the spell comprehend languages.
Okay. Well, do you want to figure it out? Because he says there's a bunch of stuff I don't understand. Also, it says these two things, And as he's trying to recite it, you kind of understand that it's an arcane equation, and him reading it off the way he is, he's doing it wrong. It's like if someone puts an equation in front of you, a mathematical equation, and you look at it as a layman, and you're like, weird squiggly symbol means nothing to him, and then like plus minus 3, and you're like, I just need to see it.
Okay, so just and a question here: does that ring take time to attune to?
I believe it's an attune item. Yeah, that's
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and cast it myself if he's not.
As a ritual or with a spell slot.
A ritual, please.
I don't think
I
it had
feel like
attunement.
it's important.
He put it on and immediately was able to read everything in the room
What's that said?
when he got it.
Oh yeah, no, it,
I think so.
it doesn't require attunement. Yeah, it's a pass around the language.
Yeah, I just give it back to him.
Can I borrow that for a minute?
All right.
It's yours, man.
All the symbols start to make sense and kind of align for you, and basically
But I feel like unsalted braids is a red flag.
what you're reading here is it looks like this room here is the main dissection.
No, thank you.
The main dissection chamber. The bodies you're looking at here don't appear to be salted. They appear to have kind of had residual mummification, but you can see a bit more of their features and outlines and details. Only one of the bodies here has a head, and it's the one body that doesn't look like it has had any type of surgery on it. From what you can tell of the equations, the bodies here are dissected and piecemealed out. The skulls and skeletons are sent down to the marrow room, and the bodies and the brains of bodies, or the brainless bodies, are sent to the salting room. And so the room that's filled with salt on the ground and basically a bunch of salted bodies, from what you're able to gather, those are being utilized for process production and sent out from here to somewhere for necromantic purposes, from what you can tell. The marrow bodies are being used to create healing potions, and based on what you can read on the notes there, it does seem that it's for some sort of combatant, based off the assemblage. And the brains appear to be making combatants.
Okay. I tell them this is the chop shop, basically, where they chop them up, then divide them, and I tell the group basically the same thing.
And it says
Brains are being turned into combatants.
Yep, and it says they're being sent to the forge. And it doesn't say where that is, but it kind of denotes that it's being sent to a place called the forge.
They're building homunculi, automaton, golem, something in here.
Yeah.
What are they? The
Make
Mind Flayer.
a history check after hearing that, everybody who wants to. If you're trained in history, yeah. That'd be beneficial too, but if not, you can roll it. Did you just roll twice for me, Chody?
I did not mean to. I don't know why it did that. I rolled a 10, though.
Okay.
I got 21.
Okay. 21's pretty good. So you remember some of the horror stories from the Civil War? The forces of the conglomerate were sometimes bolstered by entities known as nyctalopes. And nyctalopes were massive constructs who had brains put into brain cases and were basically fully functioning automatons with the minds of people.
I remember this. Okay, yeah. Cypress killed one.
Yeah.
Are the footprints in here, and are they as old as the other ones?
There do appear to be track marks, but there's not enough salt on the ground here to warrant any kind of footprints. I would need an investigation check to see if there's anything worth seeing in this room, not a survival check.
I don't see anything.
All right.
Can anyone do it, or just him?
I would say just him because he asked for it, and yeah, that's fine.
Cool, man.
There do appear to be 2 boxes underneath, and there do appear to be tools on the side tables for each of these locations. There are 3.
Anything I say out here is in character. So if I trigger somebody else, like help me look, or you just feel like helping me, do it. I'm not just looking on my own. I am saying everything I'm saying.
Yep. There are.
I'll check the boxes.
Okay. Inside the boxes, you find 3 healers kits apiece, so a total of 6 healers kits. It appears that this room was kind of used for a lot of triage and stuff like that. The tools on the side tables They are each a full set of surgical tools, which if you want to use them in a pinch, I suppose you could use them as cutlery utensils.
Scalpel is a dart.
Then, lastly, there is only one remaining body present, and again, they do seem to have been preserved pretty well, despite having been down here for however long they've been. They certainly don't look fresh, any of them, but the one body that remains does have a little bit remaining of his clothing, and also his face and features. He appears to be a very stereotypical Osirian, not too far removed feature-wise from Leon. Curly hair, kind of a darker complexion, and a warrior's body. And based on what clothing he has that it remains of him, it looks like he was a soldier in the army of Munio. And I say was specifically because the attire has changed in the last 100 or so years since the Civil War ended.
I'm less afraid of these rooms now. Now that we know they're making something out of these bodies, I'm gonna grab a leg off the table and throw it in the slagma.
It disappears into the liquid.
How long does it take to sink?
Not very.
Okay.
Does it make it to the bottom?
You can't tell. There's no transparency. It's a literal opaque
Gotcha.
sheet of nastiness. And it's literally dunk, and there's a splooch, and then there's no leg. The leg is gone.
Okay. Moving on.
Feel bad for you guys that have legs.
Another thing too is it doesn't bob back up. It just
It's gone.
right in. It's like, one of those turds that slashes back up and in. It's one of those situations. Anyways, there does look like there's a passageway. Now, once you are over here on the fluids, we can kind of describe what's going on here. So it does appear that the fluid is coming in from this vector. Okay? And then it doesn't split off this way. This way seems to be completely dry. This way does not. And based on the amount of flow that's going up to the top there, you would presume that somewhere in the wall it goes out and around and then down to this pit. And then the main flow continues on. It continues on from here and then onwards.
I'm gonna wall walk into this back little hole.
Okay. Real quick, make a perception check for me.
9.
Okay. 1 second. Bear with me here. Sorry, I apologize. I'm trying to find my notes on this room. Okay. So it does look like there's a massive slurry beneath you, and there are 2 long pipes that run across the length of the room, connecting to the side of the flow that you're standing on. Then there's a step down with the pipes there, and then there's a pit with the fluid, and the fluid is kind of moving around kind of in an oscillating fashion. As you're kind of moving across the wall and kind of looking in on it, it definitely has a very kind of stomach-churning look to it. But you do not see it happen, but something dark and shadowy snaps down at you from the ceiling and smashes into you with a bit of force.
Uh-oh.
How high is the ceiling in here?
It's 7 feet high, and it seems like as you're looking in the direction after the slap, depending on if it hits or misses, it looks like the ceiling slapped you. It would have advantage because it's attacking from hidden. 19 would hit, right?
I don't think he heard you, Jeremy.
19, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So you're taking 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and then you're taking 15 points of acid damage, and on top of that, your armor, whatever armor you're wearing, has a cumulative penalty of -1. If this gets to a point where your armor class is 10 base for that armor, the armor is destroyed. But you see it now kind of forming on the ceiling. There's a big black puddle that seems to be defying gravity, and it slams out with a pseudopod that kind of slaps into you.
We're in freaking Aliens movie. It's Aliens. This is awesome. Yeah.
Seems like we are, yeah.
Alright. Because it attacked you in this fashion, and I assume you were basically in cat-like reflex mode, I will allow you to take your turn as normal. Everyone else during the segment is surprised, but will roll initiative and act normally after this. But if you want to disengage, bonus action disengage, attack, bonus action disengage, whatever, go for it. Because I assume you weren't not in Raya mode.
I'm full on Raya. What are the pipes made out? Because I noticed them.
They appear to be made
Do they
out
appear to be metal?
iron, yeah. Very similar to the doors
Okay.
and stuff.
And yeah, I'll stab it.
Okay.
Actually, can you use the ghost knife cantrip part? And yeah, in melee.
Well,
so I'll cantrip.
Oh, real quick, I want to suggest, if you bonus action Ghost Knife and then attack it, you won't be able to bonus action disengage and get out of there.
The bonus action for the cantrip too, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both bonus actions.
Okay. All right, then yeah, I'll just stab it and leave. With
Okay.
The bonus.
Go ahead and make an attack. Alright. Go ahead and ruin your weapon by 1, so it'll be fine now. And you kind of stab out at it, and you think you're hitting it, but you kind of hear it glint against the ceiling since it's not that high. And then you kind of back away and kind of see like a small chip mark off the tip of the blade, and kind of continue your turn. I'm assuming bonus action disengagement. Oh shit!
Yep.
Okay. Those of you who see Raya kind of bolting out for dramatic effect, not for physical systematic effect, you see 2 kind of black pseudopods slap around the edge and kind of like eke out a little bit, but it seems to hold its same position. It's just for flavor. It kind of seems to chase it with tendrils of muck.
I say there's another vat of slagma, an ink monster, and 2 metal pipes.
All right. So it seems that this thing is engaged. So I'm going to go ahead and have you all roll initiative. And I would like you all to tell me if anyone has a passive perception of 15 or higher.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay. Because this other one
So yeah.
will be seen. So, Raya, as you're bolting away, you hear kind of like a sludgy sound, kind of looking over your shoulder and, barking out what you saw. You see that out of the passageway to the south of that, another one kind of comes out.
Raya's just as fucked up as he was yesterday.
All right. So, let me go ahead and rearrange.
And they're on the ceiling.
They are currently on the ceiling, yes. Which is
Ceiling's only 7 feet high.
high.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, true.
Raya, you are first on the docket.
Neat. I'll cantrip for a ghost knife and whip one at him.
Okay. All right. Based on your positioning, I'm going to say he has cover, but go ahead and take the attack. Yeah. Let's see. Does that hit? It does. And psychic damage. Got to double check. All right. Okay. Yeah, it seems to work.
He's still by 10 feet. I'm going to go stand next to Grok.
All right. Benson.
I can at least see the one, right?
A little bit, yeah. Like I said, he has cover, but it doesn't seem like they're very hard to hit.
Okay, I'm gonna use a chilling touch on him.
Okay.
16.
Hit.
11.
Necrotic? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
What did I see?
It just appears to be a black fluid that's on the
I
ceiling.
mean, what happened when I hit it?
Oh, black energy mixed with black liquid, and it seems to kind of caused it. You know when like black paint kind of dries up a bit and kind of becomes flaky. You know, you open like a black paint jar after a long time, and it's kind of got that layer on top. Yeah, similar to that. Where it hits, it kind of causes it to kind of
So it
solidify
did
up.
look like it at least hurt it. It
Yeah,
wasn't helping it.
flakes kind of break off of it as it kind of moves a little bit. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know.
Leon.
What do we see in here? What's going on?
Everyone else seems to see something, but if you can't see it, then you don't see it.
I'm moving around. Oh my god, what's this?
Yeah, there's one there. I don't know what the other one is to the left, but that's what they've been attacking.
Should be the same thing.
This one's big.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, just to
It
make
just
sure
looks
this
like a
happens,
narrow space right there.
I can only see from the light off of Zach. Is that how it's supposed to be? Is that
Correct. He's the only one who's currently emanating any light.
great? All right. Cool.
I guess I'm just going to shoot it.
All right.
Shooting it. With Slayer's Prey.
Okay.
Here it comes.
Hit.
17.
So 16 points of damage. Okay. As you shoot it, it's kind of like lowered from the ceiling a bit. You hit it and drag a bunch of its fluid with it. The arrow kind of slams into the wall, and you can see the arrow just kind of like as it like pinions against the wall, but it's covered with the meat of this ooze creature. So you felt like it damaged it, but the arrow definitely is never recoverable ever again.
Rip.
All right. That's Kevin.
You have a second attack?
Second attack.
Damn, I completely forgot. You're right.
You can only Slayer Spray once per turn, but yeah. Hit.
Yep. 14 damage.
Pretty solid damage. It kind of hits again and kind of bullets through it as well. This one doesn't make it all the way through. It kind of just kind of splinters inside of it, and this kind of spray of fluid kind of slams down onto the ground as the arrow appears to have hit and kind of detonated inside of it because of it melting and breaking. Shambles.
Don't think I'm going to touch these things, so I'm going to throw some darts.
All right.
Southernmost one.
Ooh,
Crit.
that's a crit. All right.
12 damage?
Yeah, because crit damage is maximized. All right, and same story. The dart is unrecoverable.
Fair.
It seems to catch in it and kind of pop out a bit of the back, but the dagger doesn't seem to make it all the way through. That's one attack.
He's still up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Kill it
Yeah.
if you're lucky. So that's another 14. All right, same situation. Dagger hits it, explodes out the back. Dagger's ruined. It's still kind of there, but it seems to be dripping a bit from its center mass onto the ground.
As if it were bleeding.
As if it were
I'm
bleeding.
going to take a short step back.
All right. Okay, pudding time. Let's see. So this one's speed is reduced by 10. I'm actually gonna... Alright. It seems to just vanish into the shadows, out of the light. The one that was in the chamber that was first discovered. The one that was attacked on the roof kind of X back into the shadows as well. And seems to vanish from sight as well.
So they've surrendered.
It seems that they've moved back into their lair, yeah.
Is magma flammable?
You can try. You've already... No, you didn't toss a torch into it. I thought someone did.
I mean, it's running under us throughout this whole place, so I hope not.
I was say Benson. This is Fireball.
Or hanging out in a gasoline factory if that's the case.
That was definitely part of the reason why I cast Chilling Touch and not something else.
All right. So we can continue with the initiative, or are you pursuing them, or are you letting them hide in their chamber?
Who is that?
It'd be the elk, who I assume is
Oh.
staying in the air room and just hanging out.
I couldn't figure out who that was.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna chill for now. Like I said,
Give us our XP if we don't kill it.
I mean, we'll see. Grok, do you do anything?
I'm gonna ready an action to attack it if it comes within threat range.
All right. Gondar?
So what? I went back down this dank hallway.
It went this way, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any light, so I will, hold my action.
All right. Ryan, since you were the one who initiated, based on your decision here, we'll decide if the combat continues or not.
I'm way too fucked up to chase anything, so I'm standing here.
Concluding the initiative turn and locking us out of combat. So, yeah, it doesn't seem that they approach or continue on. It seems that they were reciprocating entry into that room. If someone were to enter that room, it might be the same case that they do it again.
Looks like Grok's got your back there.
Roll a d8. 15 hit points back, Ryan. As you get the turtle touch.
Turtle touch. And then, so the two pipes I saw were metal, which means they're not full of slagma, so they have to have something else in them.
Correct.
All right, cool.
What
Let's
do you
go.
think that could be?
Water, air,
Where were,
blood.
where were those
Arrow.
pipes?
Inside,
Unsalted brains.
inside the ink room,
That
Was
way.
it- there's another vat of slagma, bigger than this one, with two pipes running across it.
And that
And two
slagma,
inks.
the slagma pit over here is kind of static, stale, with a little bit of drip going into it. The one in the ink room is slurrying.
So you said this particular
What's that?
drain, this particular drain or whatever you would like to call it, was
Empty.
dry on
Yep.
the floor
Correct.
and it's flowing past.
It seems that the passageway continues to the left, yeah.
So how deep does it appear underneath the grating?
So it's about 15 feet down. But in between these two positions, basically where the liquid's going and where this is at, this one appears to have something in between the two. Like there's something set, like a stone
Some kind of partition.
partition. And yeah, this right here, this space here, is one of the access points. And it seems that this passageway continues into the wall. The same is true of this one, but it has a table on top of it.
I don't want to waste time moving a table. Would we want to go underground further? Sneak into that room those puddle things are protecting?
Are we at risk of drowning in slagma?
Appears dry. I mean, I'll never say the risk is zero.
And then we couldn't move on down through the hallway as well, right? That was an end of it.
No, there's more to the south, yeah.
Was the ink monster in the hallway? Did it come out of that hallway, or did it all come out of the slagma room?
Also came out of the ink room. From what you could see, there looked like there was another passageway there.
So we could bypass it and probably not get hurt.
Yeah, probably.
Well, high alert. Keep an eye out for those things on the ceilings.
So
It might be
underground,
worth lighting more torches.
underground or not? Vote.
I vote underground.
I kind of like underground too, but mine's going because of the movie thing, so it's cool.
Yeah, that.
Sneak in through the sewers.
Go find Newt.
Grok, Leon.
Sewers, turtle.
Teenage Mutant. Yeah, I get it. I get
Ooze,
it.
turtle,
I
sewers.
feel like the elk gets left behind if
Give me
we
the
go-
pizza
if we're
and I'm
going in
all
the
over it.
sewers, but I guess
Oh,
It's all
Still
coming
get the
together.
pizza.
What was that, Kevin?
I said I'm assuming the elk gets left behind if we're going into the sewers.
No, it's if you're
He
all
said
going in,
anywhere you can go, man.
it would be able to
John's
squeeze
not
down.
gonna be
there.
happy about it.
Oh, no, and you're not going to be happy about it because it will be squeezing. So if something sudden happens, going backwards to the elk or through the elk is impossible. It literally has to backtrack, and so it moves at half speed if it's moving in one direction. If it's backing up, it moves at 1/2 of half speed.
Yeah, it sounds like a way to trap ourselves.
So make the elk go first.
Everybody in front of the elk, and if it comes to a door,
Or just leave the elk here. Like, don't force him underground.
yeah, I
Or
mean,
the elk goes
Or send
first.
him back up to Kane and Namlock.
he can
Let's
definitely
just put
go.
the elk in the vet. Call it.
Never say that again. You never put an
No,
elk in
dude.
that.
I keep getting outshined by the elk.
I want him dead.
Let's go check the hallway before we go underground.
I want to be the guy that pulls the sled.
All right. So one person can go check it out. I mean, because who knows? Maybe it doesn't go very
Yeah,
far.
I'll pry open the grate just below me and
Okay. If you
Poke in
go,
there.
if you go in and drop down and head on a distance, it seems that it goes about 30 feet, so off board, and then kind of loops to the right, and it seems it connects to the one that's underneath the door or underneath the table, so it kind of forms a U shape. However, at the far side of the U, in the middle there appears to be a very solid steel door, riveted on its outsides, riveted around the center portion, with a massive turn dial in the middle, like a wheel.
like a combination lock.
No, like
almost?
a wheel.
Oh, okay, like a valve.
Yeah.
Oh, I open it.
Like a causeway, is that what that's called?
Is it? I don't know. Maybe. Sure. Let's call it that.
Let's open it.
Oh, because you said the door's metal, so it's not holding back slush.
Fair enough.
But it could be water.
7 o'clock, and I've got spare lives. I'll give it a crank.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it? Okay. So if you do, after a fashion, you hear kind of like a loud pressure sound come from the sides, and then once it opens, you see that on the opposite side there appears to be kind of a open chamber. Let's see. Hold on a second here. Trying to get to my notes on it. Bear with me. Yeah,
What new disease have we unleashed upon their world?
that's a fair statement. It does appear that
Like an umbrella corporation feel to it, doesn't it? This whole place.
inside there is a single steel slab table. There look like there are a number of gratings on the ground, and it looks like there is something on the table. From what you can tell, it appears to be completely made out of iron and steel. It appears to be a humanoid-like body. Its legs are kind of spindly. Its feet are kind of massive and like round, almost like a bender kind of look from Futurama. Its center point, it looks like there is an open like hole in the center chest plate, and the head looks very simple and mundane with two kind of like glass eyes set in place. Its hands appear to be very mundane, just kind of claw tools. But it looks like the arms can be removed at about the forearm hand area and possibly replaced with other hand options. There does look like there's a book nearby, written in strange Dwarvish writing. Yeah, that's it. You don't have the ring right now, right?
No, I would have given it back to him when I was done.
No, you're
Oh.
keeping it.
Well, I have the spell, man. I think we would
Book, he can carry it back.
So I'm gonna swipe that book and I'm gonna run like hell.
It doesn't seem like
I don't
anything
trust
happens.
robots.
Doesn't seem like anything happens.
Does it look like a Warforged?
It does kind of look like a construct, not so much a warforged.
What the hell is that?
What warforged are a thing? They're just called undaunted.
But it's like
That's
this
what
is
I am. This was a joke.
Oh,
this looks
What
too
kind of
like
abomination is this shit?
this is
joke
like
was,
too
wait,
ghetto to be
Metal
undaunted.
was an option.
I'm gonna push it off the table. I'm just
It's-
gonna leave.
it does look like it is not. It is not as full a body. It definitely looks like it is a bit more mundanely produced to be a full-on undaunted.
We got ourselves a robot.
Nothing else worth stealing. I'll take its arm off if you said its arm.
You can
was
unscrew
detachable.
its arm and pull its hand with you. Yeah.
Let's turn it on.
I'm taking that in the book and I'm crawling back up out of the sewer.
Okay. If you get back to him and hand it over to Benson, Benson, you look at it and the title of it is On the Production of a Nyctalope. And as you kind of start scrolling through it, you see schematics and diagrams and detailed notes as to how to create a nyctalope. You see very precise drawings of the brain of several different creatures. When making a nyctalope from a human, see the following. Brain, where incisions are supposed to be made, where incisions are supposed to be placed, where to place wires, and how to install a brain of a human into a nyctalope's body. When installing the brain of a turtle, do as follows. Every single race that you've ever heard of, and some you haven't, are listed in this book with very precise notations. The one,
What the hell's a loxodon?
it-
Never seen one of those.
the one thing that definitely makes you go, oh shit, is in the cover of the book, the inset cover, there's a symbol. 2 serpents coiled in the shapes of 2 letter C's, which you would recognize as a mage as the symbol of the conglomerate. And that's where we'll leave off this session for tonight. Unless you guys want to continue. I'm assuming 7's the cutoff. Huh? What was that, Jeremy?
They're about to make some money.
Oh, fair enough. All right. Well, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream. Thanks for watching. Pick up next week.